Lundquist Appraiser with SacramentoAppraisalBlog.com, and I wanted to show you how to use this template I just made. I have a blog post in December 2020 to show this. You can look in the comment section or download this form at SacramentoAppraisalBlog.com/graphs. I'll have the link there. But basically, here's what I want you to do. I have this template set up and it shows all different things in neighborhoods. Now, this isn't the end all template. There isn't any such thing, okay? If you need something, a really powerful tool, I mean, maybe you're gonna have to pay someone for something, a really neat spreadsheet, okay? There's a lot of companies who do cool stuff. I wanted to create something that was pretty simple that just would give us an idea of the relationship that price has with bedroom count and lot size, what's going on with days on market in a neighborhood, what's going on with bathrooms. And so let me show you how easy this is. So I already have some data saved on my clipboard, and I'm going to basically paste it in one cell. Voila. And what this does, I got this data from my MLS. I'm going to show you how to get it from yours. And we scroll down and we see lots of different graphs, lots of visuals on, here's, price versus square footage, the relationship that, we see in the neighborhood, or price versus lot size. And this is kind of an interesting one. Look, the higher the lot size, the higher the value. You can see lot size down here. Sometimes in neighborhoods, we downplay the power of a lot size, but sometimes it's a huge, huge deal, okay? And here's price versus year built. And so you can see what are brand new homes doing in the neighborhood. And in this neighborhood, look, there's some homes that command the top prices in the 1920s and brand new stuff over the past 6 months anyway. Okay. Here's a good one, I think. Price per square foot versus square footage. You can kind of see that the larger the size home, the lower the price per square foot. And I think this is powerful because a seller might go, hey, I've got a 4,000 square foot home and I want to use, 779 price per square foot. And you go, well, that doesn't look like what we're seeing in the market right now. Okay. And so maybe we could talk a seller who's going to overprice through that. So, but there's a lot of different stuff. Let me show you I think some of my favorite graphs. This is a sales price to original list price ratio versus the price. And so here are the prices down here, and you can kind of see this downtrend. The higher the price, the further the properties are selling from 100% or their original list price, okay? And you can kind of see that anything, 500 to, 700, 800, this is sort of the real sweet spot in the market where these ones are they're getting bid up the most in the market. Here's the sales price to original list price ratio versus square footage. So kind of the larger the home, we see this dynamic where, this ratio is going down, or, larger homes, maybe they're being overpriced more in the market, okay? And so there's a lot of graphs. Look, you be the judge whether these are useful for you or not. Again, this is not the end all. These aren't, graphs to tell us what are prices exactly doing in the neighborhood. That's not what this template does, okay? With all that said, now let me show you how do you use this thing, okay? So let's go into our MLS and I want to show you how to set up a custom export. Now, if you've never done this, that's okay. I want to walk you through this. What you basically want to do is set up your information to export in a very certain way. And so in my MLS, I would go to admin and I go to custom export setup, okay? And here are all my custom exports in here. And I'm going to go to create export. And let's give this a name. Let's go custom export, example. All right. And I'm going to go to save. And so basically what I can do in my MLS now is I can choose from all these fields in the MLS. I mean, it has everything that's in an MLS sheet, garage space, number of units, address, blah, blah, blah. I can export that. But what I want to do is to export, I think it's 11 very specific things, and to do that in a way in MLS where it's in a very specific order. So the first thing we're gonna click on address. We're gonna go to add. That's the first thing. Okay, we're going to go down and find selling date. Okay, selling date, and we're going to go to add. Okay, this is when the property closed. This is not the pending date, it is the selling date. Hopefully your MLS calls it something the same. Here's selling price, that's going to be third. This is the price for which the property sold. Let's go to square footage, let's find that. Scroll down, there we go, square footage is going to be fourth. Let's go find cumulative days on market. CDOM. Now, if your MLS only has days on market, then just use that. Okay, that I think CDOM is going to be the more accurate one. Let's go to bedrooms. Let's find bedrooms. Okay, there's a lot of different bedroom ones. I just want the one that says generally bedrooms. This will analyze bedroom counts. We're going to go to bathrooms. And let's see, I chose bathrooms full. Excuse me, bathrooms full. And we want that one in there. I'm not dealing with half bathrooms in this template. You know, if you want that, I mean, I guess you can design your own template, right? So let's see, lot size acres. That sounds snotty. I totally wasn't meant that way. Um, I'm tired. I'm ready for the Christmas holiday. I'm going to take off a week. Just got to get a bunch of reports done. So, okay, so let's go to lot size acres. Okay, there we go. I'm going to click add. And then next, I need selling price per square foot. Okay, let's go down here, selling price per square foot. Okay, I'm going to go to add. And the selling price per square foot, of course, is the sales price divided by the square footage. Okay, and so whatever that is in your MLS, let's go to year built. There we go. And last but not least, number 11, we'll go to the original listing price. Okay, not the most recent listing price, but the original listing price. Okay, that's where we're going to get the best available data. And you see what this is? So we have 1 through 11 I've set up. And I'm basically telling MLS, export all of this in an Excel file in this particular order. Okay. Now, if you mess up, I mean, you can move these up or down. Just make sure they're in this exact same order. Click Save. Okay. Now, let me show you how easy this is. Imagine we are in the East Sacramento neighborhood. I've pulled up a map search already. Okay, now you're going to have to decide what do you want to analyze. Technically, my template can allow 2,500 sales. Now, if you put 2,500 dots on a graph, it's going to be a lot of information. It might be utterly meaningless. And so sometimes with graphs, you know, we expect something big, but we have to experiment. What's going to be meaningful here? And let me maybe start with, let me take the past 3 months or past 6 months of sales, okay? This template only deals with sales. We're not looking at listings or pendings right now. That's not what the design is here, but long story short, you decide what's meaningful, and you might have to export a few different times to really figure that out, okay? You be the judge of that. That's where your expertise starts, okay? So I would go to export, okay? And then I have all these different options, all right? These are the prepackaged options in MLS, but I'm going to scroll down and look. Here's custom export example. I just made this example, all right? And I'm going to push submit, and in my MLS, it will create a file very soon here, hopefully. Of course, it's being slow right now. Okay, let's try that again. Let's go to export. Have you noticed that your technology doesn't do what you want it to do when you need it to? Okay, I'm not sure what's going on in MLS, but honestly, I already have this data saved. And so basically, you just have to figure out how do you save the export file. Okay, make sure it's going to open up as a CSV file. That would be an Excel file, .csv. Okay, and sometimes you can ask your MLS for support and say, hey, I need some help here. I need to understand, you know, what I need to do, and so you know, they can help you find out what to export. Okay, so let me just make sure that this is good. I'm going to scroll down. Yes, there's 200 sales. Perfect. So here's all I need to do. I'm going to hold my mouse down on this A right here, and then I'm going to bring it over to column K. Now do not go past column K. Okay, and so let's push Control C, and that basically is a shortcut to copy this information. Okay, now all I need to do, I need to open up my blank template, and look, all I need to do is put my mouse in cell A1, and then I'm going to push Control V. That's a shortcut for pasting. So Control V, and look what happened. I told MLS to line up all of this data, and I've created this form to have everything here. Okay, now you might notice up here there's actually 12 columns. That's because this column I've designed it to do math to calculate the sales price to original list price ratio. Okay, and so that's cool. And so you decide what's meaningful. I don't recommend sort of, getting all these graphs and dumping them on everyone at one time. Maybe share one on social media that you think is really helpful. Okay, but here's what I want. I want to, talk through a few different tips. First of all, it's blank here. And so I would just suggest that you're very clear. Maybe write East Sac or whatever the neighborhood name is. Okay. Now I have June to December 2020 sales. I'm going to obviously have to change that depending on what I use in MLS. Okay. And so if I use the past 90 days, I have to just be really clear. Someone should be able to look at my visual and understand what is being represented here. Okay. And so you can see down here, I have single family sales, no condos. I don't pull my condos when I'm looking at the single family detached market. If you want to, that's completely fine. Change the field down here. Okay. And so you'll just kind of have to look at these. There's probably a shortcut to include ESAC, the name in every, graph here, but I don't know how to do that. And so if you know how to do that, maybe you can do that for yourself. The one last thing I would say is that in East Sacramento, we have very high prices. And so I would suggest, once you have all this data, save it as a template for ESAC. Okay, because here's the thing, you might be working in much different neighborhoods where prices are way different. And if you export some data and gosh, there's not sales at 2,500, you're going to double click on this y-axis, and then you're going to be able to open up. Oh, there we go. And then it'll open this up. Okay, and maybe you need to just adjust it and go, I want it to just be 500,000, and then we're going to change it to 100,000. And maybe your neighborhood data would fit perfectly in there. And so you're going to have to sort of mess with the x-axis and the y-axis, or say there was a neighborhood and the highest or largest house was 2,000 square feet. Well, then let me change to 2,000 square feet, and maybe I choose increments of 500 or whatever I want to display here. I'm going to have to kind of mess with it. So there's a little bit of legwork depending on the data you use. Okay, I still have ESAC data in here. This graph wouldn't make sense for that, but that's why you might have to maybe make a template for the high end and maybe for a lower end of the market. So, um, but anyway, that's the word. Oh, and in order to save them, I would put your mouse in here in blank space, push Control C, and then you can open up a program. I use a freeware program called Microsoft Paint, and then I'm going to open up Microsoft Paint. And then look, I'm going to push Control V, and then there's my graph. Then I'm just going to go to the File and Save menu. So I hope that wasn't too quick. I've got a lot on my mind. I've got deadlines and Christmas and stuff looming, but guys, feel free to reach out if you have any issues. But remember, if you're having trouble exporting from your MLS, you're going to have to ask your MLS about that, okay? If something's not clear on my end, then, please, by all means, reach out. I want to see you be successful. And the last thing I'd say, if you're an agent that's working one particular neighborhood, remember, make your land park template or, East Sac or Rosemont or, Rancho Cordova, whatever area you work, and then you can just get the Y and X axis right on each of them. And then you never have to touch the template again unless the market changes. So okay, guys. Hey, I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good luck out there. Let's tell a visual story of value and try to up our game and as we have conversation about real estate online. Take care.